Oh, hey there. Just working on this Rubik's Cube. And my son brought that home a couple weeks back, and he's like, Dad, I really want to learn how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Can you show me how to do it? I didn't have a clue. I was totally clueless. I had never really messed with the Rubik's Cube before. I'd seen people do it in under 10 seconds and all that, but it was something I just never even thought about. When I first started working with Ads Manager, I felt the same way. It was this program I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know where anything went. I didn't know what the campaign level, the ad set level, and ad levels were. I just didn't have any concept of that. So what I did then is I went and watched a bunch of videos and worked with somebody that knew what they were doing and educated myself on how it works. I want this video to be just like that for you. When I got this Rubik's Cube with my son, I did the same thing. I went to YouTube, watched a bunch of videos, wrote down some things, studied it, learned how to do it. Now, I can solve a Rubik's Cube in less than 5 minutes. I know that's not a major feat, but for me, I feel like that's pretty good. So, at the end of this video, I hope that you look at Ads Manager the way I look at a Rubik's Cube. Not that hard. Alright guys, this is a quick bonus video I wanted to make sure we shot for you. This one is going to be on Ads Manager 101. So Ads Manager 101, what we're talking about here, and I really love for you guys to kind of go through this video. Specifically if you've never run a Facebook ad campaign before. What I want this video to be for you is kind of something that kind of levels the playing field, so to speak. So I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the basic nomenclature within Ads Manager, where you're going to find things, how you're going to build a campaign. I'm not going to go into the nitty gritty. That's not what this is about. It's not a Facebook ads course, but what this is kind of an overview. So if you hear us talking about various aspects of Ads Manager, you'll know what we're referring to. So feel free to stop and pause and rewind this video if there's anything that I go too quickly over, if you get lost along the way. But again, this video is designed essentially to give you a little bit of a roadmap, kind of bring everybody up to an even playing field on where things are inside of Ads Manager. So let's just, I'm going to jump right into a screen share with you. And what we're looking at here is a holding account that Richie and I have in our Business Manager. You may not have Business Manager. Doesn't matter if you do or not. You can just have an Ads Manager because effectively this is what you'll be looking at if you have an ad account. Now, if you've never run a Facebook ad before, this is what your Ads Manager is going to look like. It's going to have a bunch of zeros on it. It's not going to have any campaigns in it. It's going to have no results shown anywhere. This is the account overview section. So after you've run some ads, there will be some really kind of cool metrics that you can study here, like who's responding to your ad down here, what ages they are, what their genders are, how much you've spent on each one of those categories, when you're reaching them, and the hours and things like that. So some really kind of neat metrics that you can study to get better at running Facebook ads, make your ads more targeted. Things like that. And you can do some, if you're doing creative reporting, what that is reporting on various types of creative, whether it's just some of your images or your copy, various versions, split testing, if you will. So you can actually do that here as well. So most folks will start right here in the campaign section. Again, if you haven't ever run a campaign before, this is what it's going to look like. It's not going to have any results. So you have nothing there. But each campaign would be listed out here, line by line by line by line. If you go to the ad set, now, this is going to show you, let's say if you selected, campaign number 1, if there were a campaign here, you would click the little box for it. And then when you went here, it would show you all of the ad sets within that campaign. Now, you can have multiple ads within each ad set. We don't typically recommend that. It depends on what you're trying to accomplish, but more often than not, 99.9% of the time, we recommend having one ad per ad set. I'm not going to go into the details on why that is, but essentially it's forcing Facebook to deliver your ads rather than relying on them to choose who's best. And then once you select your ad set name, then you'll go here to your ad level, and this is where you're going to modify things like creative, your copy, the images, the video, the subrit files for your closed captions on your videos, things like that. That's where this is going to be. So I'm not going to go into, again, too much nitty gritty here, but if we tell you, hey, go to the pixel dashboard, you come up here to the hamburger icon. That's what that's called, the hamburger icon, and you'll click on pixels. You might have to go over here to click on pixels. It might be under it's going to be under measurements and reports right here in the middle. I use it so often it's over here. And, obviously you can go to analytics and billing and all that good stuff too. So remember, if you're ever looking for something you're not sure where it is, you can go up here and then you can probably find what you're looking for. Audiences is a big one. You want to go in there and create your audiences. You can see your your image catalog, if you will, all the images that you've uploaded, where your videos and things like that. So this is a good menu to be familiar with. Most of what you're going to do is going to be these things. You're going to click on Ads Manager, Analytics, Billing, and Pixels, and then Audiences is the big one as well. So let me just show you really quickly. If you're building your campaign for the first time, never done it before, ever, maybe you come in here and you say 2018 Christmas program, version 1. We don't talk about it a lot in the ad packs. I kind of want to leave it up to you, but I would use very specific naming convention when you're creating an ad set and an ad. Be descriptive. Say what you're doing. Maybe it's 1-25 to 55. Those are your age groups. Male/female. So that means you're going after everybody within that age group, and you're doing a 10-mile. 10 miles around 46239 is my zip code. Maybe it's the red bulbs. That's the image that you're using. Name your ad set, and your ad is, if you're doing one ad and one ad set, that strategy that we recommend, name them the same exact thing. And the other thing that I always do with every single one of my my campaigns is I put the start date on there. So I'm going to say started, 12/5. Whatever it is. Put that on there so that way you know about when you started it, because if you're putting up and taking down ads frequently, it's important to know when you started it, because if you're looking at kind of all the ads together and say, man, this one's not performing very well and this one's performing really well. Well, the one that's performing really well might have been started 3 weeks ago and it's got 3 weeks of history on it. The one that's not performing well at all might have been started yesterday. Obviously, there's an unfair advantage there. So you need to it helps you kind of distinguish, okay, what ads were started when. The other reason we like to do very specific nomenclature, naming convention here, is because I don't have to go into the ad to know, okay, which one is performing best. I can go into the just the ad set level here and kind of review them and say, oh, yeah, that's interesting. I thought that the candle burning in the background would be a better performing ad than the red Christmas bulbs hanging from a tree, but it looks like the ones hanging from the tree are definitely the better ones. So it's kind of a nice way for you to get a quick snapshot of what you're doing. So like I would just do this and Control-C, Control-V, and then I would, let's see, I don't need to, you can do the guided creation here. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Let's see, create a new campaign. Oh, look at that. Doesn't like what I did there. So let's start over. Christmas campaign 2018. This is actually a pretty big one to pay attention to. Most of the time you guys are going to be running traffic, just so you know. If you're the two most popular ones that we run are traffic and in conversions. This is the one that we run a lot, but for this type of campaign, probably gonna be doing traffic. I would not recommend doing the split test option here unless you know what you're doing. If you want to split test, just run multiple ad sets. It's a lot easier for you to manage. Split testing essentially says you have one ad set, one ad, and they can rotate through up to, I think, 10 images. So if you know what you're doing, it's a great opportunity, but we don't use it a whole heck of a lot because we like to dictate to Facebook how we split test rather than the other way around. So just save that to the draft. Okay, so now we have an ad campaign. Now, the error that it's giving me there is that I don't have a payment method associated with this. So you got to make sure you put a payment method. They're not going to run those ads for free. But now, if this is the campaign level, so like you can see here, we've selected this campaign. We've selected this ad set. And you can actually click right into the ad level by clicking on that. And you can go back to each one. Now, if you had multiple campaigns here, to go into just the ad sets for that campaign, you would just check this box, only this box, and you'd be able to just see the ad sets and ads related to that campaign. So if you have 10 campaigns here and you select all of them, every time you go over here to the ad set level, you're gonna see all the ad sets you have and all the ads you have, and it's kind of a pain. Really quickly, I'm gonna show you what you can edit at each level. That way you can have a good understanding of that. Okay, so at the campaign level, you can edit the objective. If you're going for leads or conversions or traffics, you can edit that. You can edit the name. Once you've created the campaigns, now you can't change a whole heck of a lot more than that. But that gives you, kind of is what you can edit there at that level. So let's go down to the ad set level. You notice I just clicked on that to get to the ad set level. So ad set's gonna be like the 4 little mini ads, and then The ad level is the big one. So the things that you can change here: your budget, it's a big one. Your audience, it's a big one. Placement, man, that's huge. If you make sure you edit those placements, especially if you don't have an Instagram account, that's probably the number one place I've seen people waste money. They've placed their ads on Instagram and they don't even have an Instagram account. So we're not an active one with any followers. Make sure you edit those placements and choose where you want it to go. 9 times out of 10, we're going to put them only in the feeds, maybe in the audience network or a messenger. Right column's not bad if you're just looking for kind of people seeing the ad. Haven't found a lot of success with marketplace or stories yet, but occasionally they're okay. Instant articles are great for videos especially, but at any rate, this is where you can edit your placements. You can choose which devices you want it to be on, like if you only wanted it to be on iOS devices or Android devices or featured phones. Usually pick all. Don't want to restrict anybody there. Optimization and delivery, man, this can get pretty complicated. This can get pretty deep here. Typically, like, again, you're going to be going for link clicks or landing page views. Those are the 2 top options that people are going to go for there. The bidding strategy, you can really get nitty gritty with the bidding strategies as well. You can say you're willing to pay up to $30 for this or up to $2 for that. 90% of the time, let's just leave it at lowest cost. Facebook's going to work out the math there. We do have a strategy that we've used in the past with great success. We call it the Bob Barker, but with the Bob Barker, we do about 12 different ad sets to find that sweet spot and outbid everybody else by just enough to win the auction every time. Again, won't go into the details on that because it gets pretty complex, but at any rate, that's where you can edit the optimization delivery. And this part is going to be different based on what you choose at the campaign level for your objective. So if you're going for leads, it's going to be different right here. Your optimization delivery is going to be have a different set of options than it is if you're going for clicks. So now we're going into the ad level. This is, again, this is creative. This is what you think of when you think of. Let's see. Let's just do this one right here. When you think of the creative that you see with the Facebook ad, the images and the copy and the links on it, that's where you edit this stuff. So you're going to pick where the ads are coming from. It's going to be your church's name. You pick again, if you're placing it on Instagram, you're going to pick your Instagram account, the type of ad that you're doing. More often than not, you're probably going to do a single ad, image, or video, or you maybe do a carousel. We've seen a great deal of success with carousels. But really, if for lead generation, more so than sending people to an event, but certainly you could use them for event as well. You're going to change your images out here. Notice aspect ratio and pixel recommendations are there. Make sure that you follow the instructions that they have here regarding your images. You want to make sure that's adhered to. Adhered to, I don't know if that's a word, but website URL. This has to be where you're sending them. So if you're sending somebody to a very specific page on your website, make sure that URL is here. Can't use a link shortener or anything like that. Has to be accurate. This is where you're going to put your copy. Looks small now, but you can add obviously as much as you want in there. I would highly recommend writing that copy outside of the editor. Write it in Microsoft Word or Google Docs or something like that for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's much easier to edit because you can see it all at once. Second of all, spell check is a lot more consistent outside of the Facebook ads platform. Not that it doesn't work here, but since you can't see it all at once, sometimes it's a little easier to do it outside than just copy and paste it in here. That's what I do every time. I write everything in Google Docs, and then I just copy and paste it over. That way I don't have to monkey around with that there. The headline is the big bold line that you see right underneath the image on an ad. Newsfeed link description is the information you see right below that. So again, this is all the copy and the creative. The buttons that you see on ads, a lot of times, we'll use like a download button or a learn more button is the most popular one. You can change those to do whatever you want. That would be if you were having a Christmas event, for example, and you wanted to have multiple times listed, you could put show times. I don't know if you have a Christmas program, I guess that would make a lot of sense. If you have a pageant or a play or something, if you have multiple show times, you have that button. That might be a good call to action to use for something like that. Send messages is always a strong one for churches. You want, send us a message if you have questions. Again, depending on the ad that you're doing, make sure that the button, the call to action button that you've got, makes sense based on that. And I wouldn't worry too much about the tracking. If you have your pixel installed correctly and it's tied to this page, and it's tied back to the campaign level, everything's green, if you will, it'll automatically place this here for you. You're not going to be handling a lot of conversion tracking. We can do we could probably do a whole course on this, just this section right here, and how to do all that stuff. So don't worry about that too much. If you place your pixel correctly, this will all happen automatically, and you won't have to worry about it. But anyway, that's what you can edit at the ad level, guys. That's Ads Manager in a nutshell. I don't want to. There's so much here that we could spend hours and hours and hours going over. I don't want to do that to you. I don't want this video to be painful to watch. Probably the most important thing, or one of the most important things that I've kind of learned recently, actually, I didn't know this is a relatively new feature. You can see edit history on a campaign. You can edit the campaign. Obviously, this is the kind of default tab. Then you can also see performance of the campaign. I'm not going to show anything here. I wish it did, but where that's helpful is if let's say when you started an ad, the first day was terrible. You got no clicks. You spent $25 and got no clicks. You got maybe 2 clicks the next day. So it's showing your cost per click is $12, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm paying $12 cost per click. Well, no, you're not, because it's more like how much did it cost you to actually get those clicks. So once you've let it run for a few days, you can actually come in here and there'll be a chart that will show you, what was your daily cost versus what is your overall campaign cost. So you can see if you're going up or down. So if you start off really hot and all of a sudden things start kind of going the other way on you, it's like, man, what in the world? I wonder if I'm spending more or less. You can actually come here and say, well, I actually just had a bad day. Kind of threw off my numbers. I was consistently getting cost per click at 20 cents, and then one day for whatever reason it was 50 cents, and now it's back down to 17 cents. So that's a good way so you don't make a snap decision on, is this campaign failing or not? Because if you just have one bad day in a relatively short campaign, it can throw off your overall metrics. So this is a great place to come. I can come to the campaign level and click on the edit button, and that'll open this kind of drawer. And then I click this little chart, and it's going to show you how you've performed over each day as opposed to just the overall campaign. So nice little extra side tip for you there. Guys, this is just I hope this bonus video has been helpful. I know when we did the Easter ad pack earlier this year, there were some folks that had never used Ads Manager before. So I wanted to shoot this video, just kind of give you a layout so you were comfortable with the idea of where everything is. I know this can be daunting. This can be a lot of stuff here, but remember, if you're just creating a campaign, just create it right here, just by clicking on that button, name it. You're not going to probably change any of these things. You name your ad set level, name your ad, and then save it to the draft, and then kind of follow the funnel down to create your ad. I hope that that's helpful. I hope that kind of gets you up to speed on where everything is in Ads Manager, and certainly I want you to have a massive amount of success with these Facebook ads. Thanks so much for watching this video. I look forward to hearing from you guys and hearing how these ad campaigns go.